Being is the being, the concept. The people see that concept as outside of themselves. That's why they look up for it outside. They look for it in religion, they look for it in family, they look for it in traditions, they look for it in society, in different measures.
Yeah.
But even going back to the Bible, Jesus is saying, I am in the Father and the Father is in me. The concept is in me. You're supposed to look inward. So when you're looking, oh, what am I going to be remembered for in life? It's not outside. You're not supposed to be looking outside. You're supposed to come up, look within your, sit within yourself and decide, this is what I want to be remembered for in life.
Yeah.
It's not the world that's going to tell you what you should be remembered for in life.
Yeah, but
it's
then
you that's supposed to
we are judged.
decide.
We are kind of in our environment, right? We are always going to be affected in some way or form by our environment. So I get your point.
The influence for what you're going to remember from your environment is going to come from the environment. I'm saying the decision is coming from you. It's not I'm finding what I'm going to remember for in life. It's I'm deciding what I'm going to be remembered for in life. I've not made that decision yet. That's fine.
Yeah.
But it's you deciding. You have to look inward and say, this is what I want to be remembered for. This is me achieving that concept of achieving that immense contribution or that self-improvement. Like that's achieving that godlike status. So I think I did it right. So it's me achieving that status of godlike, that godlike status and achieving that God concept. So it's supposed to come from within. The external world, it can influence it. The external world can show you options that you might have. Let's say maybe you might have multiple things you may want to achieve, and the external world can say, oh, this is a good lane where you might show immense contribution, and you can make a decision based on that, but it's still your decision. And which is why I like the community aspect of religion, the fact that you guys have a common belief system and you're bonded together to help yourself. But I don't like the communal aspect of religion in terms of the same God. Everybody is not supposed to worship the same God. Your concept of God should be different to my concept of God, because the concept of God is unique to us. It's up to you. You decide what you want to be remembered for.
I get that we as a community have the same kind of belief system and everything, like Islam, Christianity and everything. But even when you go for some of these like Bible sessions, let me say, or some of these like homilies and like at mass and everything, they always come across and say it's your own like inspiration. It's like not inspiration. It's your own your interpretation. That's what I'm thinking of. Like, so even if you are believing the same God per se, the way I'm going to interpret it is going to be different from the way Joe is going to interpret God, right? And that kind of continues as life goes on. As I may have a challenge 20 years down the line that would influence my way how I've believed in God. Maybe something disastrous happened to my life, and somebody else may have a similar pattern to me, but then their interpretation of how God has kind of taken them through that is different, right? So no matter what, even if it's under the same umbrella of the same God, I feel like if each individual still has their own interpretation of God, or
but under that umbrella of God is God the being, God the creator. But I might be wrong, the ancient Hebrews might be wrong. Maybe God the creator actually wants us to worship him and stuff, but that concept of worshiping the person that created this is like, yes, it's all the same God, but we all know we came from the same God. We all know we came from this one universe. Whoever created us, however it started, we are all from the same origin. So why are we focusing or arguing about that? We already know whoever's story is right or wrong.
It doesn't really matter.
It doesn't really matter because we all came from the same place. No one came from somewhere outside of the universe. So we're all from the same universe. So the question now is, this thing that exists, what should we learn from it? And that goes to the question of the concept. Whatever you learn from it is subjected to you, because it's what makes you the best person you can be. So don't learn what someone else is learning, because that might work. Be inspired though. Be inspired. Learn from them. Don't learn what they are doing. learn from how they
learn
are
their
interacting.
discipline, learn their schedules, learn how they implement God,
how they
tailor
are
it to
implementing their concepts.
and tailor it
tailor it to yourself.
Yeah.
But don't copy their own concept. Their own concept is for them, man.
Yeah.
Don't
It's all about the content. Pick the content and.
Yeah.
So, I mean, if we're wrong, we'll all be in hell together. So. I'm very happy with this conversation.
Good for you, brother.
I'm very glad about this.
I'm in heaven, bro. I'm in my own version of heaven.
You don't want to be in hell.
No.
We're all the drug dealers and the hoes.
No. I'm dead. Dead myself. Just a bunch of haters, bro. That's a bunch of haters. Starting welfare, someone will stab you.
So many haters.
No, I don't want that kind of.
That's actually facts, man.
But
There's so many haters.
But you know the thing is, I genuinely think, right, on this idea of heaven, I genuinely do think heaven is what you make it. Now, heaven can be my own paradise where everything I think of that I think is enjoyment for the rest of my life would be. I genuinely think that's what, I don't think heaven is some kind of place where you go, good morning, Jesus, bow down, Jesus. I don't think it's like that. I think heaven is literally the best thing you can imagine. You want to live your life like, I mean, when eternity happens. I feel like that's where heaven is.
Yeah.
Heaven is where God lives, right?
That's what they say.
That's what they say.
Yeah.
So my belief of heaven is when you achieve that concept. Because when you achieve that concept, you achieve the godlike status, so you will be in heaven. And you can be in heaven on earth. If you do achieve that godlike status on earth, I know, God, then what I've done is good. That is the state of heaven.
Yeah.
As in that state of mindset, you're already in heaven. So, like heaven, it's the state you're in when you achieve that concept. So everyone that achieves that concept goes to heaven. Everyone that achieves that godlike concept goes to heaven. Everyone that doesn't goes to hell.
So you're saying heaven is fulfillment.
Yeah, that's
so
what
defining heaven as fulfillment.
That's what it is.
No,
it's fulfillment of when you achieve the concept, and the people that don't achieve the concept are the ones that go to hell because they'll be in a perpetual state of never achieving that concept, and that's what hell is. You keep then that's what hell is.
One earlier point was on the imperfections bit, right? Like I think that, I think people's godlike status or like heavenly status is going beyond those imperfections that they may feel exist, right? Because I think that, like, if you achieve that status where you can see, as like in the Bible, it said this is good, like his judgment of it was that it's excellent, it's good. If someone achieves that state, like what I'm doing is excellent and no one can tell me otherwise, and they achieve that on earth, that is their godlike status.
So you can have heaven on earth. Now, to people saying it's good, like I know some people will be narcissists and just do it. I said no, like you need to be genuine with yourself. You need to know this. When I say it's good, like this is a good thing for as many people as can be good, not just for you. Don't just look at it and say, "Oh, this is good for me." No, it's good for as many as it can get. The universe, the creation of the universe was good for us because. First of all, when he created light? That was the first thing. He hadn't created the animals.
It was completely dark.
That creating light would be good to create the next day. Create the sun and the stars. And creating the sun and the stars would be... And
we're making back to my early point. His design was kind of perfect because it interlinks.
I don't think it was perfect. I think it was good. I don't think it was perfect. I think it was good. No, but that's good is satisfactory. Good is... This podcast might not be perfect. In 5 years' time, will probably be better. But we are in a state of good. But we are accepting what we're doing is good.
But the perfection in that I'm trying to highlight, the perfection I'm trying to highlight is the fact that your mindset is not to make your first episode the greatest episode ever. Your mindset is to build this. And God is the first example of a human being that thought about imperfection as perfect. Like... that thought about a perfect way of implementing imperfection just to make sure he's achieving that godlike status every single time. Because with the decisions he makes, with the way he creates the world every single time, it's almost like a reminder of, oh, okay, cool, you know what? My bad, but cool. I'm going to express in the gracious way to make this better. All that kind of stuff. Like, I think he's the first example. Well, I said he's. That idea, wherever that thing might be, is the first example of how to think in that manner, and which is why I think the way I think in terms of
now from that perspective of like being the first to create that concept, That is, as in that was that. If perfect is 100%,
I mean the perfection
as in
imperfection
that's the-
statement.
That's
That's what
the
I meant.
highest you can get. So
Yeah.
that's the perfect example. Like in I agree with that. That's the bar. Imperfection as the bar, right? That's the bar you're trying to achieve. Yeah. I agree with that. Yeah.
Because actually, even on the point, like, even think of our technological like innovations, right? For example, like robots. I think the flaw of making robots is that we try to make robots perfect. As in, guy, for us to make the sickest robot, let's not even think about building a human type robot. Let's just build a robot based on ideas we can think of. Generally speaking, and guy will create the maddest stuff ever. I personally believe so, because every time we think about robots, we try to emulate the designs of like the human experience, but we keep forgetting that the human experience is full of so many flaws, fucking emotions, hunger, anger, like it's so stupid. Why do we have that? It's not beneficial at all, right? But that's what makes us special. So if you can create something that we're not even, if you can create something that is perfect in the sense of imperfection, I feel like we'll achieve the closest thing to what we're trying to do, as opposed to trying to make it have feelings, make it have all this bullshit.
God the being, which is why I ascribe to the ancient Igbos. God the being may have feelings. God the being may actually have likes and dislikes.
No,
You get what I'm saying?
but
So-
the thing is, like, we're made in his own image and likeness, right? And as you've rightly stated with the Igbo culture, you have your chi. Your chi is different. My chi is different
Yes,
from your own chi.
yeah.
So the way I'm going to achieve God-like status is different.
It's different,
Even even with the original God, if I'm to achieve what is achieved, I'm going to follow his principles, but I'll believe in my own idea, which is probably 90% different than any other person's idea that would probably exist.
Yeah.
That's what I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
But it's just that imperfection like concept. I think it was genius, man. Because you think about it's almost like a very unorthodox way of thinking. Everybody thinks in a very linear way, but sometimes like thinking in a very different way can really open different possibilities that you just might not necessarily have thought of that is a good idea or whatever. Anyway.
No, that's fair.
Yeah,
That makes sense. Alright, cool. So we're like 1.5 hours in. Are we still good to go? Because we got 2 more topics. Do we want to do one more? Or we want to do 2 more?
Go one more topic.
One more.
One more topic.
Let's see how it goes.
So
Let's go.
which one did you want to do? Do 3 or 4?
Let's go for 4.
I love it. These are bonus.
Of course. And like guys, you guys have different ways of manifesting your bloodline, but it's the same shit. It doesn't change. It's the same.